And let's see what kind of ideas we might have to mastermind on, or we can discuss how many times we let fear stop our vision. So anything else to reflect on for that?
How many times? I mean, I think that my first question is, well, am I aware of, when fear has stopped me up in pursuing my vision? How aware am I of it? Because I think it's definitely the first step, is figuring out, knowing when that is, so that I could count how many times.
Or stop
Yeah, so that you can be aware and stop it, and to recognize it, so that you can also put some proactive behaviors in place, knowing that there's a certain feeling that you get, because fear is such like fear is so vast, the fact that we feel so many different things. Fear can be so many aspects of what we're feeling, and a lot of the times I think that we kind of bundle it in as, oh, that's just fear, or whatever it is, but there's a deeper emotion or feeling that's being evoked in the times when it does stop us. So how many times that just brings up, like, being aware of it a lot of the times is the case that for myself, that I'm not aware of how many times. I'm sure I could never count. And
Well, and I think it would be safe to say that we would both agree it's too many,
yeah,
that becoming and focusing and being more aware of when it does happen, then moving forward and stopping it in this tracks, and then not trying to let it happen again.
right, yeah. And also, like, because our vision is like the big picture, even thinking about the the milestones and the goals that we have leading up to our vision, right? Like, we have our big picture of our vision and what our purpose is and what we're striving for, like all of those things. And then we have those micro moments of showing up and taking action and being the human that we need to be in order to successfully do anything.
Exactly.
We let fear in a lot, and to let it stop us in some scenarios more too. But so the smaller things is really, I think, where the sneaky fear is, and it stops you from doing those smaller things, which obviously will stop you from getting to your vision, because the small parts of it are what equal the success to actually achieve your vision at whatever success level that is for you.
Correct. When you look back where you were 5 years ago and how much you've grown, but then there might be some things that are still the same, that you haven't been able to eliminate or reduce or change. And I often look at that as, is that what's holding me back, or is it something else? And one thing that I was reminded of a couple days ago was, it's not supposed to be that hard. But when you're doing something, it should come naturally It should be exciting to you. And when we have some of those feelings of this is too hard, this is blah, 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 or I don't want to do that. Well, then why don't we want to? Is it because we have this whole stigma, or is it really that difficult for us to do? Or is it something that we buried in the back that we don't really want to address?
Mhm.
So it can be very challenging, I feel, to keep moving forward on your vision when you might find some of those stumbles along the way. And how do you make sure that you are aware of those things? And who's your support system? And who's your, um, like cheerleader?
Yeah,
So,
I think we definitely need another pair of eyes to support what we, is too close to our vision.
mhm,
And also willingness comes to mind when you were just talking about that. Like, how willing are we to one, still do the things that aren't necessarily exciting and the really joy-filled things for us, especially in the beginning when we need to do more, to get started, and to have the experience and the know-how in that area. But how willing are we to also then release it when we know it isn't in our zone of genius, right? It isn't our genius to do that, and we can, hire support for that, and we can delegate things out. And how willing are we to release that responsibility and stay in our own lane?
yes, definitely. And when you said that, I just think about if it doesn't scare the bejesus out of us, then we're too comfortable. Like we're doing the same thing. And so sometimes fear is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
So, we just have to reflect on that and see where we are. And so it's propelling us forward instead.
Yeah, I love
Awesome.
that.
Well, we are at our top of the hour. So